Hey everyone, I'm Teresa Benson. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, I do really whatever I want on my channel. I don't like putting myself into a box and limiting myself. So, yeah, if you end up liking this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe down below, or at the end, it'll be over here or somewhere on the screen. And today I'm going to answer questions about directing. And this is for the show that I am currently directing. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So the first question is, what is the show called? So we are doing a Charlie Brown Christmas. The next thing is, how did you advertise auditions? So most of our advertising was done through the radio, through social media. I don't remember if we did flyers. I don't think we did, but those were the two ways we advertised. And this time around, we actually started the process a lot earlier when working with families and kids. December can get really, really busy. And so the director actually tried to do it last year, but like mid-December-ish or something like that. Maybe it wasn't mid-December, but it was early December, and it just didn't work out. One kid showed up to audition. So this time we advertised earlier and we got quite a few kids. It took some time to get a full cast, but we got there eventually. What was the audition process? So it's hard because I am used to coming from a place that is extremely structured. We know what we're doing and how we're going to run auditions. And not even that, that goes for like rehearsals too. We know what we're going to do for rehearsals, and yeah. So there was really no process to auditions. The kids came in. I wanted to make sure that I met the parents and met the kids. I did ask them if any of them knew who Charlie Brown was, because they were young kids growing up in this day and age. And so, yeah, just asked them that. We had them read. I think some of them read like at a table with us. It was just me and the other director. Unfortunately, he chose a really wide range of times instead of just being like, this is the day auditions are, this is the time that it's going to happen. So, because it was such a wide range of time, the kids could just come audition and leave. We didn't actually have like a group of them to audition with. It would have been totally different if we could have gotten a group of kids to come in on audition, but we couldn't. So they came in, they read, they sang a little. I wrote notes down. We should have been recording, because of course he's an older man, and so he doesn't remember everyone's auditions and stuff like that. So that was the process. Came in, read, sang, and we let them ask questions. They also filled out a form, by the way. I didn't say that part. Were there callbacks? So callbacks were not planned, and it really irks me because, again, you should know these things before you jump into a show. And so I went in to cast the show, and he literally said, like, we're gonna cast the show, and then he didn't remember half of their auditions, and there were some that he kind of knew what parts he wanted for them, but he wanted to see them again. Even just how that was, I thought that was kind of like stupid, because there were two that we knew for sure what they were going to be, and so I don't know why he called everybody back. um I literally, you only call back the people that you need to see again. So I don't know why he did that. Um, so it did happen. He did think about doing it the day of. So when we cast the show, or attempted to cast the show, he wanted to do it the day of. And after that, I went home and I was like, we really shouldn't do that because the families have other kids. You know, it's a huge change. And so luckily he got them in the next day, and so that's how that happened. All right, next question. What are some major differences between working with kids and teenagers? So the biggest difference is kids cannot really dive deep into the material because they just don't understand a lot of things. Whereas a teenager, you can talk to them about why their character is doing this. Um, what is the character's background? You know, what is the actual physical characterization of this character? What, vocal characterizations do we need to be looking at? That sort of thing. And with kids, you can't really do that because they don't understand. Brushing up on some basic emotions is really what I'm trying to do with them. Um, so yeah, that would be my answer for that. Um, what has been going well? Well, we only had one rehearsal thus far, and the thing that's been going really well, and I guess it wasn't even really a rehearsal, but it kind of was. There is a whole skating scene in the beginning, and so we had some kids who knew how to skate. They were skating, having a skating lesson. The ones who weren't were singing, and so they were singing. And then I was able at a certain point to grab kids and start testing foundation and makeup on them. So that went really well, and I have talked to the director about making sure that's how structured it needs to be. When we have kids just sitting around not doing anything, we can't do that. It's not going to be a good accomplishment for us. Like, we're not going to get anything accomplished. It's going to be a waste of their time, and I really don't want them sitting with their parents when there is definitely things that we could be doing with them. So, the next one, which I will admit is going to have a long answer, is what are some big challenges? So, the biggest challenge, honestly, is the director. He does not have any experience working with kids. He doesn't have kids of his own. Um, he's just been a real challenge. We had a kid pull out because of choosing basketball, and this kid was literally having a mental breakdown because she had to choose between doing the show or basketball. And I told the mom, I was like, listen, like, I don't want her going through this mentally. At her age, she should not be doing this. She should not be having to go through this whole like mental state of mind, right? So I said, I'm willing to compromise and have her do, you know, have both girls. I had another girl who's now doing the part, um, already interested in doing it. She was interested in this Christmas choir that didn't get picked up. So I was like, this kid's comfortable performing because I know them personally, and I actually babysat for them. So I thought to tell the parent, I want both of them to be there at auditions. I mean, not auditions, rehearsals. We can switch them up, and then your kid can do the Friday show, and then the other one can do Saturday, since that is when her basketball tournament is. And so that was my compromise. Use both of them, and then she doesn't have to choose. Well, she ended up choosing anyways. She ended up choosing basketball over this show. And when I told the whole situation to the director and about her crying, he just said, she's not crying because of a mental breakdown. She's crying because she's not getting her way. And I literally could not handle that. I was like, no, that is a really move. And I had to explain to him, like, you need to be thinking about your actions, what you say, and how it is. You have to think about your reputation, If we start doing things like that and that gets around, then parents aren't going to want to work with us again. And it doesn't, again, actions don't just affect one person, it affects me, it affects the reputation of our church. etc. So that's been difficult. He's got this whole stupid thing with seating. That is so stupid. I don't even have time to explain the entire thing. But basically, our parents would have had to call in and reserve seats, but if they are not in their seats 10 minutes before the show, then they don't get it. The seats go to somebody else. I was like, that is stupid. And I texted all the parents and I was like, as courtesy to you, I will take your reservations. Let me know how many seats you need. And I will make sure we're working with pews. So I will make sure the pews are blocked off for you guys each show. So that is actually reserved for you. And the parents were really grateful in that. And they actually got back to me within an hour with their reservations. So yeah, this guy, like I said, it's just difficult. He doesn't have the kid vibe to him. He over explains things a lot. I literally, yes, no, Thursday, I literally was standing with him. He was explaining something to the parents, and one of the parents looked at me at one point. I was like, "Can the kids go get their skates on?" And I was like, "Absolutely." Our skating instructor was ready to go. I was like, "I'm gonna take the kids. Let's get their skates on and let's just go." Um, yeah. Luckily, the one thing he doesn't really have a say on that I'm in charge of is makeup. If it was up to him, we'd be using like 40-some-year-old makeup that he has back when he did theater. And I was like, absolutely not. That's disgusting, and we're not sharing makeup. I've definitely learned with makeup, you got to be careful because if you're sharing makeup, you really shouldn't be doing that because of the risk of eye infections and cold sores and all of that kind of gross stuff. So, yeah, just biggest challenge is him. Um, yeah, I do have, respect for him, but he's got to learn like these are kids. He's expecting for rehearsals for today to just be able to run through the entire thing. It's only a 30-minute show, but I'm like, no, you're going to have to stop and work at it scene by scene because you need to do your job and direct. And I need to do my job and work with them and direct as well. So those are just a couple challenges. I know that was kind of a lot all over the place, but if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe down below, wherever it is, because it'll be on the end card. And I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you next week. Bye!